So here I am with my friend Nikolai at the Bioescuela Popular in Paraguay. Is that roughly correct?
El Cántaro Bioescuela Popular.
Sí, perfecto. And I've just caught up with my friend here today just to talk about a follow-up from the previous video we did where I went and attended a workshop with Nikolai and we learned all about bamboo. And there's been a really great reaction from that. And what's come out of all that is that people have said, well, perhaps we could run a follow-up course in English. So I'm happy to announce that that's what we're here today to talk about. So thanks very much for catching up again with me, Nikolai.
Okay, thank you. Well, like you say, we're gonna remake the workshop, but in English for the people who speak in English, because Adam talked me about you and other person that is really interesting in bamboo things here in Paraguay, and we saw that there is many interesting and like many things that we need is the information and to share it. So we are gonna make the course then in Jasy Kua. I think it's gonna be the
16th of August.
16th of August.
Sí.
And we always do like 3 segments of bamboo to share the knowledge. And the first segment is about identify the species that we have here in Paraguay, how to reproduce and how to use and how to harvesting and how to curing to use it. How you can reproduce 8 different species of bamboo that we have in Jasy Kua, and then you can bring a plant of bamboo to your house and to start to reproduce that kind of species.
This is the first part of a 3-part program that you roll out in regards to bamboo.
Yeah, and we saw that it's really important, like the first thing you have to identify the different species and how to reproduce, you can use, and why are different tools to like furniture or handcraft or construction. When you have this information, you go to the other part that is for use it. So the second part is to put like a workshop with tools or furniture, so you can make little things, handcraft things or furniture. And the idea is to do in a place that we can work, not in a place like a workshop place.
Yeah. That's cool. So we might do a follow-up from this, providing that there's sufficient interest.
It's like a scale, no? First you can watch and see the bamboos and see, oh, this is Bambusa tuldoide, this is Guadua chacoensis, this is different species, and then when you know how to harvesting, how to use it, you're going to the second step. You can use like for furniture or for handcraft or for little things that you need in your house. And then you are gonna go to another scale, another step is you can use for the bioconstruction or for structural things like we use in bamboo in construction for walls or for roof or for different scales. So the third segment is like how to use bamboo in constructions or structures.
See, and we've just had a walk around the bio school here. And when I first met you, you were telling me about the construction that you do with bamboo and you incorporate it with earth and different natural materials. And I've done a bit of that in other places. So I was just trying to get my head around how that worked with bamboo. But I'm going to come back here and do a full-on video about the school because it's so cool. Suffice to say, the methods that you're using in regards to some of your construction methods here are really unique to this country because of the type of terrain that we have, the type of materials that we have. And some of the things that you've produced here in terms of your natural building are truly wonderful. Like, they're really beautifully done and also quite unique to this country. So I think this basis of knowledge that you get from this workshop that you're running is really just a really good platform to start to learn and build your knowledge base if you are interested in building in with biotechniques. And one thing that I would say most definitely is that in a place like Paraguay, when you look at the limited amount of materials that you have available to build cool structures, learning how to build with materials like this isn't just kind of a nice hippie thing to do. I think it's a difference between being able to build something truly awesome and beautiful and thermally efficient, as opposed to building with concrete and all of the thermal inefficiencies that go along with that. What do you think about that?
Like you say, here in Paraguay, we have a lot of possibilities of using different techniques and different materials. And if you mix the different kind of soil or of earth that we have here and the fibers that we can, vegetal fibers, and we can take this to use in the bioconstruction and things like bamboo, with that mix, you can mix techniques from the different cultures of Latin America, like we say the quincha. It's a technique to do the walls that they use in Incas, Aztecas, Mayas. And we can use, like here we call ivuputa in Guarani, that say red earth, that is really, really good material, really cheap, and there is a lot in all that country, in this country. So we can share that information and how to mix that thing with bamboo or the different things that you have in your place. So if you want to know how to build, or if you want to build someday your place, your home, just to have experience, you can do these workshops, and you are going to put the information to you can do the experience then with that information. But like you say, here in Paraguay, we have the biodiversity is so big, so we can use different things about that biodiversity. And if you look, like was talking about the El Cántaro, that we are making like a little school about bioconstruction, we are sharing different techniques and mixing the techniques with people that doesn't have experience. And when they came here and take the workshop about bioconstruction, when they leave, they always say me, I didn't know it was so simple. So it's put like a little chip to your mind to know that it's more simple than you feel.
And you were sharing with me earlier a story about a rammed earth expert that you know from Mexico.
Yeah.
And he came to Paraguay and he felt that the techniques and the outcomes of different methods would be the same as what they would be in Mexico. But when he worked with the materials in Paraguay, he was blown away by the differences, and in some cases, the better materials or the more robust materials that you were able to find here.
Yeah, I was working with Federico. It's a friend of mine who have business construction project. It's called Base Bioarquitectura in Mexico, and he works with ram earth. And he came here to make a project of ram earth, and he told me, you need to buy sand and buy this and buy. And I say to him, first you have to come here and watch the difference and the different clays, the different materials that we have here. And when he saw the ivuputa, the red earth that we have here, and we do the first test, he told me, whoa, this is that we need. it's mixed and it's cleaned and it's so cheap, and there is a lot, and we use for that kind of a structural thing of rammed earth. And he saw the difference between Mexico and here, and he said to me, you have a lot of luck, because you just need to buy the earth and bring to the place and just mix with other things, and it's okay.
And what I find sometimes when we're talking about things like natural construction, is sometimes there's a misconception that it's just a bunch of hippies in the jungle just making little mud huts and pretending that something's cool. But what we're talking about here is really the type of construction that if you went to the top end of the food chain in Hollywood or California or New York or Paris or Sydney.
I always say, if you see a hippie making a bioconstruction, that is not a hippie. If you want to see me like this, like that, I can do a hippie way. But if you know, there is a lot of information that the hippie guys or the hippie persons have, that are way to change things, like using material and like how to don't make a big impact to the ambient.
I know myself, I've seen different things that are being passed off as bioconstruction when really they just might be people just mucking around. But we're not mucking around here when we're talking about the type of construction and the type of techniques that will follow on potentially from this workshop that we're announcing today. This is a really useful method or useful ways to think about building, particularly in a place like Paraguay. And you were saying that you sometimes have to deal with these perceptions about bioconstruction and how it's not really serious. But what do you say about that?
When I start to build with my biomaterials and try to put in the mind of the common people or the standard people who lives in the city and who pay for a place is really white and with lines and with finish really good. And when I start to work with biomaterials, I always think I want to do things with the same quality of a house in a capital or in a big city, because it's the way to change the mind of a person who wants to live in a place with aesthetic, white and big things. And so you can do the same termination if you use the real good techniques, and you have to know the experience, how to finish the layer, how to use the biomaterials. But you can do better places than the standard construction with biomaterials or with alternative techniques. But to do that kind of things, first you need to know how to do that kind of things. And for me, that I was like 15 years working, sharing, experiment, asking, traveling. And for me now it's a good moment to share that information, because here in Paraguay we don't have many books or information of biography of how you can use this sand or this fiber or this wood or this bamboo. So I think when we do that kind of workshop, we share like a seeds of information it's gonna reproduce. And you can see different techniques that we do here in Paraguay. And if you compare with the standard construction, you have less impact, you have a more ambient about the climate situation, and more cheap and more sensitive places, more sensitive houses.
Yeah. Because I often, in other videos, go and look at houses and properties in Paraguay, and what we commonly see are predominantly concrete cement structures that are suffering from the effects of the weather realities and the climate realities here. So things like bioconstruction, if they're done properly, can address these fundamental problems that occur with the relatively modern building materials. So that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about this sort of stuff. It's not just a kind of a nice thing or an alternative thing. I think it's really essential if you want to have superior homes in a place like this.
I always say the bamboo has flexibility and resistance.
Yeah.
The concrete, it's really strong, but when something it's gonna broke,
Yeah.
the thing it's gonna broke first is
Yeah.
the thing it's gonna be the more density things.
Yeah.
So the bamboo has the property of have a big resistance and a big flexibility. That spiritual thing of the bamboo you can watch in other techniques. And like I was talking about the eco-friendly, is a big world movement. Like all the people or the periods, I don't know which is the roots of that movement, but we have a big move like to be eco, to be more ecological thinking. And so there is a lot of information in the ecological way, and you have to search in that kind of person that maybe you have the precept that is a hippie man who don't want to buy cement, who don't want to buy iron, who don't want to pay a lot for things that maybe in 2 or 5 years is gonna broke. So it's like when you put a philosophy in your mind, I'm gonna going for this way. So I'm trying to, without precepts, because I want to share my information with a businessman, with a CEO of a company that never saw a wall that is making with bamboo and land or earth or different materials that when I start to work, many people came to me, oh, my grandma, they do like you're doing. And my mother say that is a bullshit. And I give the same information for my son. And my son start to watching what was doing my grandma. So it's like a feedback of techniques, ancestral techniques, that we need to find the connectivity to that techniques. So because we can following the way that we are construction our houses or our cities, because has a limit of impact or has a limit of capacity, because the cement is a rock that it's not infinite, and the iron has a lot of impact, and we have a lot of alternatives more in places like this with this biodiversity that we have here in Paraguay.
And the most beautiful architecture, both visually but also functionally, that I've seen in all of our travels has been in Nicaragua. And Nicaragua has one of the highest percentages of original material built houses, predominantly out of the materials similar to what we're talking about now. And they're absolutely stunning, and they're thermally efficient, just beautiful structures. And so I think that anyone that feels as though we're talking about something on the edge here really needs to perhaps just look around the world and see when it's done properly. It's just
the
incredible.
best way to change thinking is watching that is possible. Many people who have a lot of money want that kind of
That's right.
way of life. It's not just your house, it's a way of life. So the permaculture is a really good, interesting school, but like Bill Mollison or David Holmgren, who are in the top of the permaculture way, they never came to Paraguay and watched the different species of bamboo or the different kind of soil that we have here. And no one's take the time to write about that information. So I really want to share the information like people to people. I have 43 years, maybe when I have 50, I'm gonna write it. But if you want to come and share this information with your community, with your family or different places you are gonna travel, for me, it's a really good idea because we can share little seeds to start to grow different way to live.
And the great thing about getting back to the workshop is that you can see the different types of bamboo in their natural environment, and you really can get an idea for what is good for one application and what's good for another. So anyone that's coming here and looking at land, to me it's a no-brainer that bamboo just has countless applications and possibilities. So that's where I see the real value in attending this workshop with you, is because we can not only see bamboo, but we can see particular bamboo for particular applications.
Here in Paraguay, we have different species, and I travel Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, and the popular, like this is taquara, we call here in Paraguay taquara. And maybe taquara could be different species, or in English, this is bamboo. We have more than 1,000 different bamboos in the world. So the idea for that is that I put like in 3 different segments. The first thing you need to know is the different species and how to reproduce.
So anyone that's interested in attending this event, all the details are in the flyer in this video. Please reach out. There'll be a lunch provided. It's a really cruisy day. It's not like hard work. I think we watch you guys work hard and we sit back and just enjoy it really for the most part. It's pretty lazy, but you can get involved if you like. But I really, truly recommend it to anyone out there that wants to go to a English-speaking bamboo course here in Paraguay.
Well, the idea, like you say, is to talk in English. I'm really excited about this because I never know that I can speak in English.
Sí.
So I'm gonna try to share all my information in English, and I want to know that I don't have problem to share my information in the workshop or not in the workshop. My idea is to make with the person that we are the same interesting, share the information. For me, the information is the value. Doesn't have a value, is the value.
And I hear that your mother was pretty surprised when she saw you speaking English.
She told me, "Oh, do you know how to speak in English?" Yeah, I know.
See, Mum, you've got a smart son here, so congratulations. Well done, man. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Adam. And your mission and my mission between could be a really good mission.
See, man, as people coming here, I think part of our responsibility is to learn more about the place and to value add and to learn and spread the word about bamboo, because we're going to talk a lot more about your mission, particularly with the indigenous variety of bamboo. We've come from other places where we've seen these things play out in really negative ways. So it's so exciting to be in a country and have an opportunity to hopefully make a positive difference. So anyone out there, please reach out. I hope that's of interest to you. And until next time, take care.
Thank you.
Ciao.